Georgina, I want to bring you in here to the conversation a little bit at this point. I think you're a perfect example of somebody who has literally had your estate drained away, and you were worth in the neighborhood of, I think, 125,000 or 150,000.
Well, yes, it was way over. With the home, it's around close to 150.
Okay.
Well, I was a victim of this scam. I had a stroke on a Saturday afternoon. It was very warm. And so I became ill, and I called the neighbor lady. And the neighbor lady said, you're having a stroke, and you have to call the paramedics. Well, I had such pains in my chest and my left arm, and I couldn't breathe. So I sipped some brandy spray, which I never normally cannot drink. Anyway, she told me I'm supposed to call the paramedics, and I said, I can't because I don't do brandy. And she said, well, you're going to have to. And so I did. They came and took me to Fairview Riverside. I thought that's what group health was, so that's where we went. I never knew anything of this hospital before. And apparently, instead of taking me to the Fairview hospital ward, they took me to St. Mary's, the alcoholic ward.
You get connected to it, but they
yes,
took you in the other door.
And
basically, a policeman diagnosed you, isn't that what happened? He decided you were...
Exactly.
The policeman made a medical decision.
Yes.
You get him for practicing medicine without a license?
Well,
Well, the policeman did, the paramedics attendants did, anyway, as it turned out, I had this stroke and I had brain damage. So after 6 days of being in St. Mary's, they must realize that there was something else wrong. And so at that point, they took a brain scan. And then they told me that there was brain damage, but it was from alcohol. And so they then proceeded. I didn't know anybody for 3 weeks because I didn't know anybody that came to see me or anything. And then as the 3rd week, I started coming to myself. And then I asked for my daughter and her husband, and they said, oh, they've been here. And neighbors told me that they had been there and I could know them. And so after 3 weeks, they had a little hearing after the death, and all these two little doctors decided, mental illness. And then they had a hearing, and I was committed to Moose Lake Treatment Center for Alcoholism and mental illness. And
involuntary commitment, man.
oh, very definitely.
Nothing you can do about it.
No, there isn't anything you can do about it.
And then a court-appointed guardian was appointed, right? Not your daughter, not your daughter.
Yeah, you see, as it turned out, on the last hearing, it was as much as committing me for life, because, then you have the rights for a hearing once a year, but you're there for good.
Yeah.
And so I knew I tried to say nice to say it.
Judge Plunkett,
Oh, Judge Plunkett, yes, decided. And then I was sent to Moose Lake. I was there almost 2 years. And then I was transferred down to Bridgeway in Minneapolis. Well, it was then at that point that I could hire an attorney because Moose Lake is 110 miles from Sun City. So it was pretty hard to
be able to
make contact with an attorney or have them come and see me for that distance.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got down to Bridgeway, I called the attorney and they took it right away, the case right away. There was also a point when I was up in this Moose Lake that I had a court appointed guardian, I should say. And Judge Plunkett also presided at that hearing. And so as it turned out, the guardian really was, she was appointed July 7th, 1991.
Was that this Cynthia Norman?
Yes.
Who had 60 to 70 clients, my notes say. She's been prosecuted and she's now in jail for 10 years.
Yeah, a little over 10 years. And it took me 4 years to accomplish it.
What I'd like to know is how they got. You folks on the radio program, and that's how I know some of this. Because I was how they got access to all your money in the bank, all your IRAs, and all that stuff. I mean, how in the world?
This is how it works. This is how it works. The judge appoints the guardian, who then becomes legally this person who doesn't and write checks against the account and makes decisions on investment, the house. This guardian legally becomes this person who's the so she can do whatever she pleases.
So that's why Premier Bank had to turn over all of your funds to this court-appointed.
And you have power to
not necessarily, because they also turned over cash IRAs. I had $37,000 in IRAs,
Right.
and of course I don't have a penny of them. And there was one girl that works at Premier who was with the old Midwest Federal, and she is the one that gave Cynthia my IRA money. Because another girl said, well, she said she didn't have nothing to do with it. She said that Brigga did all of that.
Did I interrupt you, Roxanne, in kind of giving us the train of how this all happened?
And basically, once the guardian has this legal power, they can, a responsible guardian moves his power through, they can shepherd the investments and so on.
Right.
Criminal guardian, like Cynthia Norman, I can say criminal quite clearly because he's been convicted in Bridget's case, simply took the money, transferred it into her mother's name, where it's out of reach. So Cynthia's been convicted of these crimes, but because she doesn't have the money anymore, her mother does. That money is gone. It's in her mother's hands, and there's nothing legally you can do to protect it.
Also, what's been very in Regina's case is that Cynthia Norman, normally you have to be bonded by the court. That means that you get an insurance company to stand for you in case you do anything wrong. And in Regina's case, she does presently presiding, and she had $150,000 plus in the bank. She took a bond for $5,000 for Regina.
$5,000.
So that she only had $5,000 to guarantee, and it's $150,000, which is very suspicious. You see, then you start wondering what's going on, because that's Judge Punkett's an intelligent man. He knows the normal procedure, and this would happen if it was a guardian or if it was a personal representative of an estate who isn't a family member would usually have to be bonded. And I also wonder if the whole thing of all these court-appointed guardians for children, for vulnerable adults, for everyone, there's so many court-appointed guardians, it's almost like overwhelming. And apparently some of these guardians, in Cynthia Norman's case, used to come into court, from reading in the paper about what happened, she would come into court and fight the family to get the guardianship job.
Really?
She pushed the family out of the way.